Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a Crusader Kings 3 Game of Thrones multiplayer. Sorry, it took a while to get the lobby up. Before we start the video, I'd like to thank those who sat in the lobby for like 30 minutes waiting for people to install the game. These people are heroes, and the country would not exist without them. I started out the campaign, pretty normal. I got like a marriage to a Hightower, and it was going pretty well. As good as things can get for Stannis Baratheon. Before the Norwood, the entire realm was invited to Dorne to partake in a great feast. Little did we know, this feast would be quite dangerous. People started getting mugged, and Robert Baratheon almost lost his life. Robert Baratheon was the guest of honor, and he had to leave because he got beat up. And I guess it glitched the event, which trapped Balon Greyjoy at the event, waiting for Robert to show up. No one came to the party. Balon was never the same. While we're on the matter, Renly was never the same either. Apparently he was contacted by some witches, and yeah, he looks like this now. He was betrothed to Marjorie, so worked out for him in some ways. Robert, on the other hand, was cucked by Prince Doran Martell. She would be imprisoned and, well, I guess divorced. But Robert didn't know what to do with her because he didn't want to make Tywin mad by killing her. But, what can you do? I, of course, was focused on more serious matters like hunting. But my bro, this is what being a ruler is all about. It's all about slaying the beast, killing animals, hanging out with sharpshooters like Varys. Yeah, it looked like a Fortnite party. The beast was slain and another guy who cucks people, was killed. But the good times and the weird times were over. For war! War was brought to Westeros. Once again, King Robert demanded the arrest of Doran Martell for his honor. He didn't really like Cersei, but you can't go around publicly, cucking the king. The Greyjoys and House Hightower joined them for some reason. At first, Ned Stark tried to leave the war, but Robert used a favor on him and brought him back in. As my brother's loyal bannerman, I got my troops ready and I set sail to King's Landing. We marched down together into Dorne, and we prepared for battle. And we didn't wait long, for battle came as soon as we got there, and the Lannisters were laying siege to Pike at the same time. It was surprisingly quite a big battle. A lot of dudes showed up, and the Dornishmen, even though they put up a good fight, were slowly defeated by the Baratheon armies. The Baratheons would have victory on this day. Balon would also get arrested, and then sent to the Wall. But hey, at least his kids are alive this time, Yeah, it was kinda awkward. I was betrothed to the enemy. But that's just politics. The Ironborn rose up again. Unfortunately, a second battle would happen. And, it didn't go as well for us as the first one did. In fact, the Baratheons lost. Little detour, I started raising Renly. And we won the war. And I got married. Man, what a great day, really. And Robert showed mercy to the Hightowers and the Martells and told them just to pay back the war. Because, wars cost money. There was one major fatality in the war. When I came home and took off my helmet, I saw that my hairline was gone. You could be the greatest man, but having a head of hair, that is a real luxury. The gods are cruel. First they take my hairline, then they take my firstborn. Gods. What gods? Jon Arryn would soon die, and I would raise his daughter, just as the late Jon Arryn raised Robert. While Robert was getting married to the Martells, our brother Renly was starting a cult, and he was marking his followers. Willis was set to marry Cersei, but then she was stolen by Doran Martell. I would complete Renly's training, but I don't think I did a good thing for Westeros. There was a wedding, and I was invited. It was between Willis and a cougar. His MILF baddie, I guess. While I was at the wedding, the Valyrians declared war on me. They won't let me enjoy anything. Before that could happen, Ned Stark was ousted from the game. Somehow his army like split into a bunch of stacks, and if you hover over his stacks, it crashes you. If your PC is not that good, so it did kill the lobby because people were like, hey, what if I like hover over the stack? No! Ned was just trying to invade the wildlings. That's all he wanted to do. The wedding went well, but war. I love war. My trusted allies came to help me. Life was good. The war was won, and my enemies, they were persecuted. I was not as kind as Robert was to the Martells, is all I'm gonna say. I always wanted a son, but I had none. At the very least, Doran would get the girl. Bless up. Also, we had Chad Edmer. Unfortunately for Doran Martell, Mace Tyrell never forgot that he stole Cersei from his son. Mace secretly assassinated Doran Martell, and no one was the wiser. Unfortunately, the Martells thought the Baratheons killed him. Who killed Tyrion? What? Why did he do this? But hey, I got my heir married to the Telltale guy. After no male heir and a hairline that doesn't exist. I knew the Seven had abandoned me. But the Red God, you know, there's a chance, right? More weddings were to come as people died. That's life. To hide my balding, I started wearing a crown. You know, I was kind of conscious about it. The minor squabbles would come to an end when Daenerys Stormborn Targaryen landed on the shores of Westeros. Our old enemy was back, and we had to rally our forces and defeat it once again. For the first time this entire game, the realm has all been united against one threat. A little girl. The Baratheon brothers struck fast. We came after him. We're not letting this child start a little revolution. Okay, maybe not a little revolution. We could not siege our way out of this one. We had to fight her. And fight, we did. Daenerys Stormborn Targaryen was captured and executed. The Baratheons will continue to rule forevermore. Say hi to Chip Chip though. Mace Tyrell would then bang Cersei Lannister. Yeah, that's a cursed inheritance. It turns out Renly killed Tyrion and Jaime. As I was discovering plots, I was then attacked by Mace for some reason. I mean, I won, but, you know, I don't know what's going on. Back on Renly, this guy, I don't know, there's something weird about this dude. He was hard to kill, he just looked messed up. And he kills people. And even worse, he stole my bad Red Witch GF. He recruited her as a spy, and then, well, he transformed her. I caught her spying for another man, but you know, she still likes me, okay? In other news, both the people I raised turned out well. But they all turned out to be, like, spies. I don't know what was going on in Dragonstone, but everyone who leaves it comes out evil. Say what you want about King Robert, but you know, we are feasting. Who cares if the crown is 2,000 in debt? It's called Robert Maxing. I finally romanced Melisandre enough and she became my spy. It's awesome. Uh-oh. Renly bros is not looking too good. I was heading to a Martell feast, and you know, it was supposed to be pretty fun. I was coming there, and then the guy was like, oh yeah, you know, this Martell feast might be like the Red Wedding on Baratheons, because he wanted to kill us, because he thought we killed his family member, and I was like, hey, you know, second thought, I don't think I'm gonna go, I'm gonna leave. I had a witch baby to take care of, alright? When you become the father of a demon baby, you understand. We're getting a lot of hooks in here. We were hooking each other. This really was the Game of Thrones, yeah. In a Game of Thrones, if you have $20, anyone can be your spy. This was an evil spy game because Renly killed my demon baby. And I kept catching him stealing my awesome witch GF in real time. And then the Martells took her from me. They stole her. I would kill for my queen. And then Mace Tyrell's son, Henry Cavill, started a plot to put me on the throne. That was just kind of going on. I had no involvement with that. Oh yeah, Jon Targaryen of Walrus Bay. Targaryen homeland. Pardon my LARP, it's Dragonstone. The Martells would finally kill a Baratheon. They've been plotting this whole time and they finally got one. Now the Stormlands were ruled by a baby. And my birds were singing. The Arryns immediately kidnapped the baby. Renly and the Arryns were having like a little micro spy game. And now that he was a baby, well, I mean, what are you gonna do? Stand up for yourself? You can't even walk. I divorced my wife because I got way too many daughters. And then the universe is cruel to me. I got a new wife and, you know, it was going alright. Then Melisandre was captured and executed. I did squash all the beef I had with the Martells, but I never truly forgave them for executing my bad goth girlfriend. Renly's son then gave me his longsword, escaped from prison, and then declared war on the government. I feel like this war was a cry for help. I don't think Renly knew he was gonna win. I don't think he thought anything, really. I just think he wanted to die. Because he was baby. It was less of a war, and more of us just sitting there. I'm sorry, Renly. I wish we didn't have to do this to him. My little nephew. He was supposed to give up all his land, but for some reason he said no and fought a second civil war. I don't really know how that works, but you know, what can you do? I mean, this was now AI Renly, so it was more of a wild card, really. Another daycare trip for the boys, you know what I mean? This one was more of a battle. I think the player really just wanted to die, and the AI is like, you know, they're trying to win. They can't, but they did try. And I mean, they really did try. They really jumped me. Like, I was minding my own business, and they came out of nowhere, and they started beating me up. Luckily, the thugs of the realm came to back me up. It was a close call. I don't know if I would have died. But, you know, it was close. And the mad baby was finally defeated. And for some reason, Ice Spice was murdered by Robert Baratheon. I don't know what was going on there. The blood feud is still going, I guess. But I was given Witch's Keep, aka the Stormlands, so it worked out for me. Time to squash beef, I said. Getting a lot of marriages. Peace in our time, gentlemen. Lords. While Westeros healed, Bobby died. And I was called upon to be regent, while the guy playing Bobby B went to go eat. I would rule fairly. And this guy was pretty powerful, I'm not gonna lie. This is a strong kid. So, you know, the Baratheons, we were in a good spot. I was like a high school football coach, and the Baratheon child, he was like the kid who only eats cornstarch. And I saw him signing up for the football team, and I'm like, that's our guy. That's how we get to the big leagues, baby. I need to train him personally so we could get the championship. My legacy! And everything was going good until I got Ned Starked by Janos Slynt. The Gold Cloak seized the government. Like, I escaped, no problem. But the government was occupied by the Gold Cloaks. And to top it off, somehow I got herpes from an event. And then the Arryns took control of the government. While this was going on, the Tyrells chain assassinated the Lannisters, leading to a mega reach. Look at him, he won. Stunning victory. On the other hand, my life sucked, man. My little animal ran away. I lost Chip. I was so, like, not Gucci. I decided to declare war on the king. Not to overthrow him, but to capture the Arryns and execute them and restore the Baratheon control, you know? It was a little hasty, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why I did this, but at the time I was like, you know what, bro? We ball. We're balling, man. But it's okay. I calmed down. I was like, you know, we don't need to do this. I was just joking. I was kidding. It was all a goof, really. And everyone understood, and we got back to being wholesome. I just learned to accept that the Arryns, they were balling. And I just had to make sure that my surrogate boy, became a knight. The Reach also lost the Westerlands, so I wasn't the only one having a bad time. This game had been going on for a while, so this was the player map. We still got a decent amount of people, but yeah, some people went to bed. Some good news, I did get a grandson. I never got a son, but this is like the second best thing, right? Little Geralt would grow up to be a money guy, but he knew how to hold a sword. He's like an accountant. You're right, Aegon. I need dragons to kill all my enemies. I mean, I need friends to be wholesome with. After outliving all my friends, I slowly started to die from herpes. That is fate. While I was dying, the Crownlands were getting uppity. For some reason, they didn't like their new king converting to R'hllor. I don't know, what's wrong with that? But I got better, woohoo! As soon as I got better, I was called to war. I had to go and tame the Westerlands for the Reach. The things I do to keep up good appearances, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Once the player went to bed, the Riverlands AI, they wanted blood. I think they wanted too much blood. I mean, look at this map. They're dead. I was a loyal man. I would die for our one true king, Donnie Darko. I had to go and destroy the Westerlands and the Riverlands. Hey, I was making a profit. All this while Jon Snow was still alive. The Targaryen beyond the wall at Walrus Bay. We got Baratheons everywhere. Eventually, I would die and become a girl boss, and I had a role player, bro. Everything I did as her was for the role play. This period, well, it was kind of unstable, but it wasn't really that bad. We were peaceful. But that would all change. The king was murdered by his Tyrell wife, and now we got a baby with a Tyrell regent. But then we also had a plot to overthrow the king and put me on the throne. It was just gonna happen, and I was like, you know, if people want to do it, I guess, I don't know. Their faction went ahead and sent their demands, and yeah. But the Tyrells were allied with the Baratheon king. So, some reason that kicked them out of the war they started. And I was stuck with Dorne. And then the dude killed himself so he wouldn't be in the war. And it was just me. They set me up. And then the king gave the Vale the Riverlands because at first the war was looking bad. But not anymore. I know I keep saying king, my bad. I'm battling the toddler queen. I would go, I would fight, I would lose, and I would surrender. But I was let out, so we're good. Then the Reach decked another war, and then I guess he clicked the wrong button and just surrendered everything, and he just game overed. The Reach then sent me his live reaction. Warning, the microphone here is kinda if. Here we go. I then chain assassinated the Dornishman because I was in line for succession, and I was kind of mad that they left me to die in something I didn't really even want to do that much. I killed them because they almost killed me, that's it. The remaining players, we just fought some wars because we were kind of bored, we're wrapping things up. And then we decided eternal peace, and well, that's just kind of how it ended. It ended with sleepy time. Like all good things should.